أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الصلاة والسلام على سيدنا نبينا خاتم المرسلين أبو القاسم محمد اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد وعلى آل بيته الطيبين الطاهرين المعصومين المظلومين الذين أذهب الله عنهم الرجس وطهرهم تطهيرا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد أما بعد قال الله عز وجل بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم إنا آتيناك الكوثر فصل لربك وانحر إن شانئك هو الأبتر اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu, my dear viewers. I hope everyone is doing well. And it's an honor to be here speaking to all of you, as always, but especially because of the special program that we are doing at Vilaya TV on Bibi MASUMA. I'm especially honored to be speaking about her. And the surah that I recited, it is surah number 108 in the Holy Quran. And it is the shortest surah in the Quran where Allah talks about giving the Prophet an abundance. It is giving the Prophet something in kasir, something in abundance, which we all know that that is the goodness that Allah has given him, which is his progeny, his offspring. And we know that the world as it is today, all the beauty that we see in the world is because of the existence of our 12th Imam who's on this earth. And that's the reason why the earth is still revolving, and we are all on this earth. The existence is there because of the 12th Imam. So what I would like to do in the next few minutes is talk about Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alayha, and about her family, about her childhood and how she grew up, and then talk about the place where she is buried, which I had of visiting, I would say about like 6 years ago, I think. We went to home and then to Mashhad, and then we flew back, and I was there with my family, with my children, and we had, mashallah, it was a short visit, but it was a really good visit. And as I was preparing for talking to all of you, I was reading about the Rawza of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alayha, and I was amazed to see the things that are inscribed inside that Rawza, all the beautiful inscriptions and what they are about, which, like when you are there inside the Rawza, you, even if, like it's in that special calligraphy that is kind of hard to read. So we are not like, we know that it's like beautiful inscriptions there, but we don't really know about those inscriptions. So I would like to share some of those with you. And then towards the end, what I would like to do is talk about the impact that Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alayha has on our lives in this modern day world. So let's begin. And with starting to talk about the family of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alayha. We all know that Bibi MASUMA is, her father is the seventh Imam, Imam Musa Kazim alayhi salam, and then her brother is Imam salam, and then when I was reading about the mother of Bibi MASUMA, I was amazed that she also was of African origin. So the wife of our sixth Imam, Imam Jafar Sadiq alayhi salam, is Lady Hamida, and she is from African origin. And it is said that she saw the Prophet in her dream, and the Prophet was talking to her and telling her that her son needs to be married to Bibi Najma Khatun. And so that is the mother of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alayha, and she also is from African origin. So we know that the Prophet, when he brought Islam to the world, he made sure that there was no inequality, because this is what Allah wanted. Allah, in the eyes of Allah, everybody is the same, except somebody is more special because of their piety, because of how conscious they are of Allah, and how close they are to Allah. In the eyes of Allah, those are the people with taqwa, that are muttaqi, that are closer to Him. Nothing to do with race, nothing to do with color of the skin, nothing to do with, what tribe you belong to or what family you belong to. So the Prophet made sure in his lifetime that he married women that had different colors, different backgrounds. And so, following the tradition of the Holy Prophet, of course, our Imams, they also made sure that when they married, it had nothing to do with the color of somebody's skin, but everything to do with their piety. So Lady Najma Khatun, who's the mother of Bibi MASUMA, is also of African origin, which, like nowadays in this world today, especially in America, we are all very, like we are all aware of what's going on, the injustice that's happening, the racial inequality, oppression against people that are minorities, people of color. But Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala made sure that none of that, the last word, that the last book that the Prophet brought to us, the last prophet that Allah sent on this earth, he made sure that that message is the final message, and that message is the perfect message, and that message is the message of equality and racial justice. So we see that the mother of Bibi MASUMA Salamullahi alaiha is of African origin, and she was a great lady. And then the seventh Imam, we all know that the seventh Imam, like our Imams, out of all the Imams, the seventh Imam and the ninth Imam spent most of their lives in prison. So a seventh Imam, when he was most of his life imprisoned. And what's also interesting is that the difference in age between the eighth Imam and Bibi Masuma Salamullahi alaiha is 25 years. So 25 years is the age difference. And so, because the seventh Imam was imprisoned and he also passed away, he was martyred when Bibi Masuma Salamullahi alaiha was only about 10 years of age. She was brought up by the eighth Imam. So the eighth Imam brought up Bibi Masuma, and also the first 6 years of her life were spent with her father. And the training that she received from her father and from the eighth Imam was how she gained all the knowledge. And of course, like the knowledge of the Holy Family, of the Holy Alibad, it is given by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala himself. But the training that she received was from the seventh Imam and the eighth Imam, where she spent, her whole life. She only lived to be 28 years of age. And so during that time, the training that she received is from the seventh Imam and the eighth Imam. And there's like a really beautiful story about the extent of her knowledge, which is like truly amazing. That when she was about 6 years of age, there were some Shias who had stopped by the house of the seventh Imam, and they had come there with questions, like they had a whole bunch of questions they wanted to ask the seventh Imam. And the seventh Imam wasn't at home at that time. And so the people that were there, they said, why don't you like leave your list of questions, and we'll make sure that they get answered. So they left their questions, and when they came back to gather their answers, they were very satisfied to see the answers, but those answers were given by Bibi Masumaya Salamullahi alaiha, 6 years of age, and she had answered the questions that these the followers of the Ahlul the Shias had. 6 years of age, she had answered the questions in such detail that when the seventh Imam came back and he took a look at those answers, that were written by his dear daughter. He was so happy, he was so pleased with those answers that he said 3 times, "May my life be sacrificed for you." So you can imagine the seventh Imam saying that to his daughter because he is so very pleased with the answers that he sees her daughter has written, and this is at the age of 6, mashallah. So this is how our baby was brought up, in the lap of knowledge. Like she gained knowledge from her father and with the eighth Imam's training, and this is how she grew up. And the other thing which is also surprising, which people always ask, is how is it that she was not married? Like she was 28 years of age, and we know that especially in our culture, in our faith, that there is a great stress of like people getting married. The Prophet made sure that his teachings and through his life, and we know that the Holy Alabad, when they got married, it was a young age. So why was it that she wasn't married? And the answer to that question is very sad, because it is said that one of the reasons why she was not married and she was 28 years of age when she was martyred is because people would not be comfortable asking for her hand to be the son-in-law of the seventh Imam because of the political situation that was going on at that time. We know that our Imams were targeted, our Imams were imprisoned, and anybody who claimed to be the follower of the Holy Alabad were in great trouble. So when people came to see the seventh Imam, when people came to see the eighth Imam or the ninth Imam, like our Imams, it most of the time it was great turmoil, periods of great turmoil, and they were not comfortable because then they would be targeted. People would be watching them. People would be constantly watching the house of the seventh Imam to see who was visiting the seventh Imam and what the connection is. And then they would be targeted and they would have to lead a life, that is life of misery, basically, because the followers of the Holy Alabad were targeted. So that's the reason why our Bibi was not married, is because people were not comfortable coming forward to become the son-in-laws of the seventh Imam, which is like really sad when you think about it. And you can imagine this is somebody with such great virtue that all the Imams are talking about her, which mention some of the traditions that we have received from the sixth Imam, the seventh Imam, the eighth Imam, and the ninth Imam, talking about her, a lady of such great virtue, but nobody can claim her hand because of the political situation that existed at that time. Now, the other reason that also given is that it was, like nobody was at that level of virtue to claim her hand. So those are the two reasons that are given why our Bibi was not married. So let's talk about her knowledge, and let's talk about the narration. So she is a narrator of hadiths as well, which didn't know about before. But there are beautiful hadiths that she has narrated that have been preserved, and people have discovered those documents later on. One is on Miraj, the heavenly journey of the Prophet, when he was taken physically, taken, and he ascended up to the heavens to receive the message and to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So this is Miraj and what the Prophet saw, and then what is written on the door of one of the palaces that the Prophet saw during his journey to the heavens. So our Bibi talks about that, the hadith of Miraj, that when the Prophet was up there in the heavens, he saw this beautiful palace that is made of pearls and rubies, and on the door of that palace is written La ilaha illallah Muhammadan Rasulullah Aliyan Waliullah Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. So that is a message that is written. And then there is a message about the Shias of Maula Ali. So our name was mentioned on the curtain of that palace. So this is one of the beautiful hadiths that is recorded by Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha. And the other hadith that is also very talked about, that they found in the documents later on, the hadith of the birth of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, that when he was born and he was brought to the Prophet, before they brought baby Imam Hassan alayhi salam to the Prophet, they said, we haven't washed the baby yet. And he said, there is no need to wash the baby, because the babies that are born in this household are pure. So, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ali Muhammad. We know that there is no uncleanliness associated with the family of the Prophet. And so that hadith about the birth of Imam Hassan alayhi salam, and then what the Prophet said about giving him a bath to make him pure, that there is no need for that, is also recorded, narrated by our Bibi. So it was a life that she spent in the lap of knowledge and absorbing all the knowledge. And then she already had God-given knowledge from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And one of the things that the eighth Imam, he called her to Khurasan. We know that the eighth Imam left on this journey to Khurasan in the year 200 Hijri. So that's the year that the eighth Imam left on this journey. And he was called there by, like the Khalif at that time. These were the Abbasid Khalifs that were oppressors. They claimed to be the followers of the Holy Alphabet, but they're really, what their goal was to rule and to get accumulate wealth and build palaces for themselves and live a life of luxury for themselves with nothing for the Muslims. And so the ruler at that time, Mamun, was the one who invited the eighth Imam to come to Khurasan. And when the eighth Imam had been away from 1 year, which, like we know that the eighth Imam is the one who brought up our Bibi. And so she really was missing the eighth Imam. She could not bear the separation from the eighth Imam. And so the letter that the eighth Imam wrote to Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha, inviting her to Khurasan, is one of those letters that have been preserved. And he wanted her to come to Khurasan, not only because he wanted to see her, but because on that journey to Khurasan, he wanted her to teach. He wanted her to impart knowledge to the people that she would come in contact with during her journey. So that's something that, like it's just like Bibi Zainab then, like Bibi Zainab, her journey from Karbala to Kufa to Sham. It was a journey of tears. It was a journey of agony. But one of the things that she accomplished was that teaching, the period of teaching for her, for telling people the position of the Holy Alphabet, and like the true teachings of Islam through the door of the Holy Alphabet, which is what Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha, one of the goals of that journey when she traveled to Khurasan, was to impart knowledge. We know in those days it was not easy to go on a journey, not easy at all. Like today, we can just climb on a plane or a train, or just take our car. So right now, my dear friends, I am in Wyoming, and I am sitting in a room in this really nice vacation home. But like it's so easy to just like drive the 1,000 miles or so, the distance, to cover that distance. We actually did it in about 19 hours, I think. But in those days, to do that journey, cover that distance from Medina to Khurasan, that would take days and months to cover that journey. And the journey was not easy either. There would be bandits on the way, there would be robbers, there would be people, like you never knew who was out there that were not the friends of the Holy Alibeth. They could be enemies of the Holy Alibeth that were out there to, to kill you. So it wasn't an easy journey, but she undertook that journey because the eighth Imam wanted her there. The eighth Imam invited her there. And of course, she was missing the eighth Imam terribly because he was like a father figure to her. So she undertook that journey and she went, and on the way, we know that on the way she was attacked by people. Some claim that they were actually sent by Mamun because when she traveled with her caravan, there were about 25 people in that caravan, and most of them were Bani Hashim. And so the Khalif, like he didn't want these people to be there to reach Khurasan. So he was the one who got them, and that's one of the things that is recorded. So she got severely ill, and she was taken home, where she was buried in home, and that became that center of learning. So we know that I was reading actually about how many Islamic scholars come out of that place, how many are enrolled. And what's amazing is that the figure that I saw on, the internet about the holy city of Qom, and there's actually books on the holy city of Qom and alislam.org on that website, where you find all the books, duas, anything that you want. That's a great place to go to get information, alislam.org. And so there is a book about the holy city of Qom and when it was founded and how it flourished then after Bibi MASUMA Qom Salamullahi alaiha was buried there. It grew to be the city of learning. That center of learning is what that city became then, the city of Qom. And so 40,000 Islamic scholars are enrolled within a year, and then it takes them 7 or 8 years to graduate from one of those Hawza Ilmiya. And it's just like if you think about it, it's like more than getting a PhD. So when somebody becomes they come out, they graduate from one of the Hawza Ilmiya, it is more, they are more educated than somebody that has a PhD, in any subject from any university in the world. They get educated on so many different aspects of the faith itself, and philosophy, jurisprudence, and I don't even know all the subjects that they cover. But then they learn languages as well. There's Farsi, there's Arabic, and Arabic grammar. Of course, you can start learning and never get finished with it, even if you spend your whole life on learning Arabic grammar. So it's amazing that so many scholars come out of Qom to enlighten the whole world. And so they come from that place where our Bibi is buried, and when they go out into the world, when they graduate from that school, from that Hawza, and go out, they enlighten the whole world with the light of the teachings of the Holy Ahl Bayt. So we have sayings of our Imams about Bibi Masuma Qom Salamullahi alaiha, and how she is like the source of shafaat. If we want somebody to speak on our behalf on the day of judgment, if we want somebody's recommendation, then she is the best one to do shafaat for us. She's the best one to recommend us to be included in those people who are going to be the people who get to go to paradise, the people who are going to be at that level in paradise, close to the Holy Ahl Bayt. So there's different traditions that are recorded. One is from the sixth Imam, who had already said that a lady from my um, a lady from my family whose name is Fatima, and she's the daughter of Musa, will die in Qum, and she is going to be the one that can that can do shafaat on the day of judgment. This was said by the sixth Imam, who had predicted that the from among his children is going to be buried in Qum, who is going to be a source of shafaat for all of us. And then from the eighth Imam, we have this hadith that doing the ziyarat of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha is just like doing his ziyarat, visiting Mashhad and going to his tomb. So if we were to go to the tomb of Bibi MASUMA and not even if we didn't get that opportunity to visit the Raza of our eighth Imam, it would be just like doing his ziyarat as well. And then there is a really beautiful tradition of a dream of this Ayatollah. His name is Ayatollah Najafi, who really, like people down the ages, from the time that Bibi Fatimatu Zahra Salamullahi alaiha, when she was buried in the middle of the night, we know that her place of burial was not revealed. So our Maulai Mushkil Kusha did not want to disclose the place of her burial, and that has been kept a secret for all the ages. Nobody knows exactly where she's buried. So we know it's Jannatul Baqi, but exactly where her place is, where her grave is, nobody really knows. And so Ayatollah Najafi was one of the ones who really wanted to find out where Bibi Fatima Zahra Salamullahi alaiha is buried, because he wanted to go to her grave and like do dua and ask for that intercession that we all want. And so he did supplications for 40 days, and he wanted one of the imams to come in his dream and show him exactly where the place of burial of Our Lady of Light, Bibi Fatima Zahra Salamullahi alaiha is. And so after 40 days, he was very disappointed that, like he was not seeing anybody in his dream. But then after for the 40th day of the supplication, he saw a dream, and he saw the sixth Imam in his dream. And the sixth Imam told him that the Karima of the Holy Ahl Bayt, he should go and visit her grave, and that is going to be the same as visiting the grave of Bibi Fatimatu Zahra Salamullahi alaiha, because it is the same blessings that he's going to receive. And the burial of Bibi Fatimatu Zahra Salamullahi alaiha is going to be kept a secret, and he is not going to be able to find out where she's buried. And so he didn't really know. He said he didn't really know who the Karimatul Ahl Bayt is. He didn't know who this lady is. And so the sixth Imam in his dream told him that she's the one who's going to be buried in Qum. He needs to go there. And she's the one who is buried in Qum, actually, because this was afterwards that he was praying for disclosing, for one of the imams to disclose to him where the place of the burial of Bibi Fatimatu Zahra Salamullahi alaiha is. And so he saw the sixth Imam in his dream, and who told him, go to the Karimatul Ahl Bayt, because she is the one who is going to do your shafaat on the day of judgment. And she's the one where if you visit her grave, your du'as are going to be answered. And so when he asked the sixth Imam, who is this lady, he told her it's Bibi MASUMA Salamullahi alaiha, and for him to go to her place of burial in Qum and to ask all the things that he would have wanted to do on the grave of Bibi Fatimatu Zahra Salamullahi alaiha. He said, go to her grave and you will achieve the same thing. And then we have from the ninth Imam the tradition that he says, whoever visits my aunt in Qum will enter heaven. So this is from the ninth Imam. So we have all, like a lot of imams talking about Bibi MASUMA and the beautiful traditions, and the what you accomplished. There's so many miracles about Bibi MASUMA, and I'm sure like people have been talking on this great program that has been put forward by Wilayat TV on the occasion of the birth of Bibi MASUMA on different aspects of her life. So I'm sure some people must have shared the wonderful miracles that people have seen with their own eyes on that Raza, on that grave of Bibi MASUMA. If you visit there and you have any hajat, you can go there with, like all the wishes in your heart, and all your wishes get answered, inshallah ta'ala. And there's like stories about people getting cured, like one of the khuddams of the Hawza of Bibi MASUMA, he had gangrene in one of his legs. Gangrene is just infection, like you have to like cut off the leg then for something like that to get cured. And so he prayed at Haraza, and in the morning when people opened the door, he just walked out of there like nothing was wrong with his feet. uh, there's so many miracles, so many stories. And like even for me, it's the place where I pray for all my children, for them to find like the right careers, for them to be guided right in their lives. And mashallah, I have to tell you that my prayers are being answered, and inshallah they'll be all answered, and inshallah all of our hajat are going to be answered. We just have to recite the ziyarat of Bibi MASUMA, and inshallah, like I have her ziyarat on my phone. We can do that towards the end of my program. We can talk about, we can do the ziyarat of Bibi MASUMA, and when we read the ziyarat of any of the imams or Bibi MASUMA that we are going to do inshallah towards the end, it is just like visiting their Raza. It's just like being there in their presence, and we can ask our hajat, and inshallah all our dua answered. So let's see. What I wanted to do also was talk about the beautiful Rawza of Bibi MASUMA, Salamullahi alaiha. And the Rawza, we know that it was constructed, like people have been adding to that Rawza. And so what was also interesting, I'm going to my phone now. I think my phone is dead. No, it's there. That's good, because I have a lot of information here as well. Information at our fingertips, right? So the Rosa was constructed, and then people have been adding to it during, like the different periods through the ages. And we can imagine, like this is almost about 1200 years ago that she's been buried in Qom. So initially it was interesting that it was built with wood, and then there was a lot of silver. Then they replaced it with silver, and then they replaced it with gold. And then of course, like we can talk about silver and gold, but what's inscribed in the Rosa is the most beautiful, because there are surahs of the Holy Quran that have been inscribed inside the tiles in very beautiful script. And then there are sayings of the Prophet. So what I would like to do is share some of those sayings of the Prophet that have been inscribed inside the Rosa. Let's see, let me get to that. Okay. So these are the sayings of the Holy Prophet that has been inscribed inside, like on the tiles in very beautiful script. And one the second one, tradition number 2, that has been there is, whoever causes a separation between a mother and a child, God will cause a separation between him and heaven. So this is a message to, like, separate the mother from the child. That could be, like, for a lot of reasons. We know, divorce, there is separation. And so we should try the best, like, not to separate the mother from her child, because the Holy Prophet says this will cause a separation between that person and then the first tradition number one, is about guarding our tongue. Whoever guards his tongue from dishonoring the people, on the day of judgment, God forgive his lapses. So if we guard our tongue from dishonoring people, on the day of judgment, Allah will forgive our lapses. So we try not to dishonor people. And then the tradition number three is about learning, which is really interesting. So this one is a good question is half of learning. So we know that in our faith, especially the Jafri faith, we all belong to the Jafri faith, the school of thought within, like the school of the Holy Alphabet. And one of the things is we know that our sixth Imam, our fifth Imam, when he started the university, and then the sixth Imam, when he continued that university, he encouraged people to ask questions. He would do debates with people. He would debate with, like the different scholars that came from all over the world, people of different faiths, and even people that were atheists. Like there was no there was like that freedom to ask questions. People were not afraid, because our sixth imam, our fifth imam, and of course all imams, they encouraged people to ask questions, because as the Holy Prophet says here, this beautiful saying that's engraved on the tomb of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha, that beautiful city of home, from where all that, like all these learned scholars are going and enlightening the whole world, that the saying of the Prophet is, a good question is half of learning. So we have to, like, encourage our children to ask questions. And there shouldn't be any limit, like, of what they ask, because they shouldn't be afraid to ask those questions, because that's the only way that they are going to learn. And, if they have anything in their heads, any doubts, because there's so much on the internet now, so much that people have posted, there's negative about like our traditions and our culture. And so they should feel comfortable to come and ask us questions. And that is a good way to learn, because the Prophet says half of learning is asking a good question. And of course, we know, like our first Imam, Maula, our Maula Mutakhiyan, Maula Ali ibn Abi Talib alayhi salam, he would say, Saluni, Saluni, ask me, ask me. He would always encourage that. And towards the end of his life, he would say, ask me before I'm not here anymore to answer your questions. So all of our Imams encouraged people to ask questions, because that is the way to learn. And no question, like, especially I am a scientist, and I do a lot of learning and teaching. And one of the things I always say is, no question is a stupid question, because every question is a valid question that if you didn't ask, then you wouldn't learn. So this beautiful saying of the Prophet is there. And where he says, a good question is half of learning. Husnul sawal nisful ilm. So half of learning is just asking questions. And then the last one that is inscribed there, tradition number 4, this is where our Holy Prophet says, God Most High helps his servant so long as the servant helps his brother. So this again is like beautiful. This is about helping each other. And we know that in today's world, like with COVID going on, there is so many people that we need to help out. And we know that maybe, like, we won't have this opportunity of helping people. People are in need of our help at this time. this moment in history, which is unique. You know, like nothing has like this has happened to us in like 100 years. We used to have these plagues before that. You know, like my grandmother would talk about these plagues that were brought about by mice. In the olden days when people would migrate to, you know, like villages to escape from the cities where this plague was there, and then there is that Spanish flu that happened. But there's been a period of like 100 years, and now we are faced with this pandemic, this coronavirus, where people need our help. People, you know, like it's just awful to look at those images on the internet about what's happening in India and Pakistan, in other parts of the world, where people are suffering. Just people in general, human beings are suffering from this pandemic. So this is a good time to follow the advice of the Holy Prophet, what's inscribed on the tomb of our beloved Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha, that God Most High helps His servant so long as the servant helps his brother. So when we extend our help out to other people is when Allah is going to help us. And I can tell you, you know, like I have found this to be so true. So many times I have tested this out, that if I need some help from Allah, if I want my task to be accomplished, if I want to achieve something that is very hard to accomplish, all I have to do is extend my help to others, and help comes my way. I have tested this out multiple times, I have to tell you. So that's one of the beautiful things that is on the tomb of our Bibi. And then there is also a very beautiful, it's like a pretty long list of things that are written there, and I want to share that with you. So just give me a minute while I go to that page that I copied over. Okay. All right, so this is also inscribed there, which, you know, like this was all knowledge to me. And I have to tell you that whenever I have this honor of speaking to all of you, I learn so much from, you know, like just preparing for talking. I have to like read. And when I read, is, you know, like I gain so much knowledge, something that I didn't know. Okay, so this is also inscribed there. And this is narrated from the Messenger of Allah, who said, "Be aware that whoever is having love for the family of the Prophet dies a martyr." We have heard this before. This actually, saying of the Holy Prophet is engraved on the grave of my mother in Hyderabad, because she died as a lover of the Holy Alabad. Be aware that whoever dies having love for the family of Muhammad dies forgiven. Be aware that whoever dies having love for the family of Muhammad dies with faith and perfection. Be aware that whoever dies having love for Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, and the angel of death and the two angels, Nakir and Munkar, will give him good tidings of heaven. Be aware that whoever dies having love for Muhammad and the family of Muhammad will be raised to heaven. Be aware that whoever dies having love for Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, Allah will open two doors leading into heaven in his grave. Be aware that whoever dies having love for Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, Allah will make his grave a place of pilgrimage for the angels of mercy. Be aware that whoever dies having enmity for Muhammad and the family of Muhammad, on the day of judgment, in between his two eyes will be written, he has no hope of receiving the mercy of Allah. Be aware that whoever dies having enmity for the family of Muhammad dies an unbeliever, kafir. This is inscribed on the dome, on the inside the shrine of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alaiha. And when I read this, I was like so amazed that, you know, like this is just amazing that all of this is written on the tomb. Okay, so, and then there is, of course, the surahs that are written on that tomb. There is Surah Yasin, there is Surah Al-Rahman, Surah Al-Mulk, Surah Halata, and Al-Khadr. All of these are engraved and very beautiful inscriptions that are found inside the tomb. And like when I look at the tomb of Maula Ali in Najaf, I want to read what's on the inscriptions that are there. And some of them you can make out, some of them you can make out. So the next thing I'm going to do is find out what is engraved inside the tomb in Najaf, because it's beautiful. It's like you can stand in that tomb of Maula Ali for hours together, just gazing at, like the zari, and gazing up into all of those mirrors that have beautiful inscriptions. And some of them, like you can kind of make out, and some of them you can't really make out what they say. So my next goal is find out what is inscribed inside Najaf, because my dear viewers, it's something that it just makes me really sad that we don't really know whether we are able to like go and visit Najaf and Karbala this year. That's something that is bringing like sadness to my heart already. I can tell you it's something that let's see what happens. Inshallah ta'ala, like the doors to heaven are going to be opened again, and we will all get to go and visit Karbala and Najaf. And I know a lot of people then from there, from doing Arbaeen and Karbala, this is the year that, the time of the year that I go and visit Karbala and Najaf. And I know a lot of people then go on to go to Syria, or, like they go to towards Iran, and they want to visit Qom and Mashhad at that time. So it's, like we don't know. We don't really know what the outlook is like. So inshallah ta'ala, this COVID will leave all of us, and we will get to, like that's another thing, is how are we going to observe Muharram this year, right? Some of the things that I did every year is go to India, because we have an Ashur Khana there, is what we call, like the center where people gather. It's been in our family for, I would say, more than 100 years. And so we have a big majlis on the 7th of Muharram, and we go there every year, and we don't know what's going to happen this year. We don't know whether, like we are able to go or we are not able to go. What's going to happen? It's like an unknown that that we don't know. So inshallah, that's something that also bothers me, just to think about, like not being able to visit all of these holy places. And we don't really know when in the future this is going to open up, the doors of heaven to us. When are they going to be open to us again? So what I would like to do, my dear friends, thank you for all the attention. What I would like to do is read the translation of her ziyarat, and inshallah we will be in her presence when we are reciting the ziyarat in her presence. And whether we are able to go in the near future, inshallah ta'ala, we are able to go and visit the Rawza of Bibi MASUMA. I went there 6 years ago. I'm due for another visit, and inshallah we are all able to do that. But in the meantime, we can read the ziyarat of Bibi MASUMA salamullahi alayha, and ask for all the du'as that we have in our heart. So Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajeem. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Peace be on you, O daughter of the Messenger of Allah. Peace be on you, O daughter of Fatima and Khadija. Peace be on you, O daughter of the Commander of the Faithful. Peace be on you, O daughter of Hassan and Hussein. Peace be on you, O daughter of the Vicegerent of Allah. Peace be on you, O sister of the Vicegerent of Allah. O aunt of the Vicegerent of Allah, peace be on you, O daughter of Musa bin Jafar. May Allah confer His blessings, mercy on you. Peace be on you. May Allah grant us your companionship on the day of judgment, and guide us to follow your footsteps, and lead us to your grandfather's fountain, and quench our thirst out of it with Muhammad's own cup in Ali's hand. Allah bless you all. I ask Allah to grant us through you happiness, ease, and your companionship. together with your grandfather on the day of judgment, and not to deprive us from understanding you indeed. He is protector and powerful on everything. O Allah, I seek thy nearness through my love to you, my enmity for your enemies, and my surrender to Allah willingly, not arrogantly, my acceptance with unshaken faith. O Fatima, stand by us when Allah sits in judgment over us. O intimate of Allah, O Allah, I ask thee to make my ending happy and not to take away what you have given me. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad wa la hawla wa la quwwata illa billahi al-aliyyil azim. Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ala Muhammad. May our ziyarat be accepted, my dear friends and viewers, and inshallah all of us will get to visit her tomb very soon. Let me finish by reciting du'as for all of us. And inshallah, when I speak to you next, you're going to be happier and more blessed. May Allah shower all of us, all of you, with His blessings and mercy, because whenever we speak about the Holy Al-Abad, whenever we think about them, whenever we read about them, it is a source of blessings to all of us. ربنا هب لنا من أزواجنا وذرياتنا قرة أعين واجعلنا للمتقين إماما رب ارحمهما كما ربياني صغيرا اللهم صل على محمد وعلى محمد